I attended school in the Madison Metropolitan School District. And when I entered middle school, I remember 6 years ago, so just 6 years ago when I was 37 years old, I asked my mom this question. And that question was, why didn't I come out of this classroom that I was in for only PE and band? Those are the only two things I exited this class for. And my mom told me something that still to this day, it rocks me to my core. My stomach actually turns every time I say it, because in education today, we no longer use this word when we are talking about people or in any way at all. And my mom told me that they thought I was mildly retarded. And for me to be in this school for 3 years and to never ever come out of this classroom other than go to band and PE did not give me a sense of belonging. It didn't give me a sense of this is a place where I wanted to be or something that I wanted to do in terms of educating kids at all. Well, that experience, I think, really harmed me. That experience caused me to never, ever want to work with kids. I never wanted to be a part of education at all. But that lady in the middle that I ended up marrying, my wife Julie, she graduated with the education degree. We moved to Milwaukee, and she worked for Milwaukee Academy of Science. It was a school of 99% free and reduced, 99% African American. And she asked me to volunteer in her class. I said, absolutely not. I wanted nothing to do with kids because of the experiences that I had, not only how challenging I probably was for teachers, but also the sense of belonging that I had as a middle schooler in a school that I think did not provide me what I needed to be provided. So she kept asking, so then I finally said, okay, I'll come in. So I go in the first time, and I'm like, oh, okay. She asked me again, I go in a second time, and I'm like, it's okay. The third time, I asked myself that critical question, why aren't I working with kids? And that was the turning point for me, and I finally looked back and said, I think she tricked me. I really do. I think she tricked me because I think she knew that once I started working with kids, it would change my perception of wanting to be and work with kids. And from there, I did not have a teaching certification, but I majored in health science, corporate community fitness. So I had all of my coursework done, so I reached out to the Department of Public Instruction and asked them, what can I do to get a teaching certification? And they referred me to Project Teaching, which is an alternative licensing program. And I only needed to take 2 courses to get my teaching certification in PE and health. Because I majored in health science, corporate community fitness. I did that, landed a job in the Brookfield School District right away, but I did not take that one because I ended up getting a phone call from Sun Prairie. And from there, she ended up getting a teaching job in Sun Prairie, but she had her teaching job first in Sun Prairie, so I ended up following her to Sun Prairie, and that was the start of who I really felt like I needed to become. Despite being told by my mom that the teachers thought I was mildly retarded, I want you to look at every picture on this screen and think about that journey. For someone to be labeled what I was labeled and to see how it turned out with me getting undergrad, bachelor's degree, getting a master's, and then also receiving my doctorate, I'm not quite sure they had that story right. So for me, that was the start of really me taking this journey to become who I am today, because my wife kind of tricked me into coming into her class to begin that journey of loving kids and wanting to be with kids. The 2 kids on the right, those are 2 students that I had when I was an assistant principal at Sun Prairie High School. These 2 students, just on this particular day, were getting ready to walk down the aisle to receive their bachelor's degree on the same day that I was walking down to get my doctorate. And there was no greater feeling than this, to know that these are students that I get to walk and take this journey with. And when I think about the statement in the middle, what it says is every kid, every day, whatever it takes. And when you think about the motto here in Baraboo, it's every kid, every day, in every way. And as you can tell, that's been my motto probably for 10 to 15 years. And to know that that alignment is there based on what I've kind of built my structure of who I want to be for kids and with kids, it aligns perfectly. You can remove that whatever it takes and put in every way, to know that this is what I really stand for and who I'm about and what I want to be about with kids. And in every and anything that I do, as I take this journey in education, it's really important for us to have equitable criteria for decision making. There shouldn't be a decision that we make or that I make or that I'm a part of that does not have some criteria to ensure that we're making it for the right decision, to have the right impacts for kids, have the right impacts for staff, and also to support the systems in which we have in the district. So making sure that we have the equitable decision-making criteria is something that you will really see me stand behind. I want to make sure that whatever we do is tied to our strategic plan, because it's really, really important that we get it right. We've committed the time, we've committed the resources to make sure that we do what's best for kids, and that's truly what I'm about, and that's what I've come to know is one of the most important things to do, is to make sure that we're allocating resources, utilizing resources by way of making sure that these things are a part of those decisions. And then lastly, before we get to the video, is equity non-negotiables. Just so you can see, equity non-negotiables are expectations derived from a set of principles or beliefs that are core to the mission of the school district and not open to interpretation or modifications. Those are things that do not knock us off our rocker. Those are things that we stand behind. Those are things that we value, and that we want to make sure that not only the superintendent knows, but everyone in our district knows, and that they're a part of the development of those non-negotiables. So know that we will be doing some work to create such a thing to drive our work so that we can be who we need to be together in this system. I don't think there's nothing that we won't be able to overcome that we may experience in this district that we can't get through together. So as you can tell, I'm willing to work through just about any and everything that we will encounter, but also do it positively so that we have the impact that we want to have on kids, and also to honor that strategic map and plan that we have as a district. But once again, that map and plan won't be accomplished if we're working in silos and we're not doing this work together. So I'm a team player. I don't have all the answers to everything, and that's why we're a team. And that goes for you as board, that goes for us as administrators working together, that goes for us as teachers. Whatever role you're in this district, we're going to do it together.
Well, Rainey, that was really impressive, and it really makes me feel great about us being able to start working with you. And why didn't you play that at the interview, man? You could have just short circuited the whole thing.
Because Mike, you told us we couldn't deviate.
Right.
Every time we tried to dig in a little bit deeper, some of us got reprimanded.
Some of us.
Well, I wanted to save it till we get hired, then you can really let people know what you're about. So, no, I think it was some great work, and it allowed me to also hear from people that we don't always get to hear from, other than when it's too late. And I don't want it to be too late before I hear from people the impact that I had on them. So I think it was awesome for me to reach out to the people that have had an impact in my life, for me to see what type of impact I've been in theirs. So it was good to hear from all of them, and to also share a part of me with you as we build this relationship